Hello class, I am Happy Narang, your subject teacher of environmental science. Today I am going to cover the topic that is zones of environment. As shown in the figure, interaction of environmental components, atmosphere, lithosphere, hydrosphere are connected with biosphere. So first we'll talk about the atmosphere. The Earth's atmosphere, a complex fluid system of gases and suspended particles, did not have its origin in the beginning of the planet. The atmosphere as of today has been derived from the Earth itself by chemical and biochemical reactions. Although the fluid system forms a gaseous envelope around the Earth, its boundaries are not easily defined. They can be arbitrarily defined as the Earth's atmosphere interface and space interface. The gases like nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, and water vapor, etc., together make up the total volume of atmosphere. Together with suspended particulates, that is dust and soot, constitute the gaseous turbidity, particularly in troposphere. However, the composition of atmosphere and so also the structure is variable in time and space. The vertical structure of atmosphere is very much related to radiant energy absorption, and this can be described in terms of variable of temperature as shown in figure 1. Below 60 km there are two main zones of absorption at the Earth's surface and in the ozone layer. The absorbed energy is redistributed by radiation, conduction and convection. Temperature profile of atmospheric layer as you can see in this figure. There are therefore two temperature maxima at the Earth's surface and at an elevation of 50 km. Above each of these maximum there is mainly convectional mixing. Temperature in these mixing layer decreases with height above the heat source. The lower of these two zones is referred to as troposphere and the upper is mesosphere. These are separated by a layer of little mixing in which the atmosphere tends towards a layered structure referred as the stratosphere. Between the ionosphere and the stratosphere is the tropopause, which marks the approximate upper limit of mixing in the lower atmosphere. The average height of this is usually given as 11 km, but these varies over the Earth. In tropical latitude, its average height is 16 km, and in polar latitude, it is only 10 km. There is one further zone of heating above the mesosphere and more than 90 km from the Earth's surface, where shortwave ultraviolet radiation is absorbed by many oxygen molecules present at this height. This is referred to as thermosphere. Within this layer, ionization occurs, which produces charged ions and free electrons. Beyond the thermosphere, at a height of approximately 700 km, lies the exosphere, where the atmosphere has an extremely low density. At this level, there are increasing numbers of ionization particles which are concentrated into bands referred to as Van Allen radiation belts. However, this simple model of vertical structure can be simplified to provide a model of the atmosphere as two concentric shells, the boundaries of which are defined by the stratopause at approximately 50 km above the Earth's surface and a hypothetical outer limit of the atmosphere at approximately 80,000 km. Below the stratopause in the stratosphere and troposphere, there is 99% of the total mass of the atmosphere, and it is at this level that atmospheric circulatory systems operate. Beyond the stratopause, a layer of nearly 80,000 km thick contains only 1% of total atmospheric mass and experiences ionization by high energy, short wavelength solar radiation. The temperature profiles of atmospheric layers are given in figure. Now we'll talk about hydrosphere. It includes the surface water and its surrounding interface. It is vital for life molecules to survive. Water possesses a number of physical and chemical properties that help the molecule to act as best suited medium for life activities. The movement of water from Earth's surface to atmosphere through hydrological cycle appears to be a closed system. Water is the most abundant substance on the Earth's surface. The oceans cover approximately 71% water of the planet. Glaciers and ice caps cover additional areas. Water is also found in lakes and streams, in soils and underground reservoirs, in the atmosphere and in the bodies of all living organisms. Thus, water in all its forms, ice, liquid, water and water vapor, is very familiar to us. We use water at home, in industry, in agriculture and for recreation. These applications differ widely in the quantity and quality of the water that they require. In one way or another, we use all available sources, inland waters, groundwater, and even oceanic water. The demand for global water resources increasing day by day, though availability pure fresh water has been decreasing severely. Thus, there is need to make precious use of pure fresh water and their fruitful storage and conservation. A simplified outline of hydrological cycle is given in figure. A simplified outline of hydrological cycle as shown in figure. You can see the detail over here. Now comes lithosphere. It is the outer boundary layer of solid earth and the discontinuity within the mantle. The outer boundaries forms a complex interface with the atmosphere and hydrosphere, and is also the environment in which life has evolved. The inner boundary is adjacent to rock which is near its melting point and is capable of motion relative to the lithosphere above. Basically, lithosphere is nothing but a crustal system composed of various layers, that is core, mantle and outer crust. Various elements constitute such crustal layer in mixture of different proportions. In general, the earth crust is composed of three major classes of rocks as classified on the basis of their mode of origin: igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphosed rocks. There are two types of crust: continental crust, which is composed of granitic rocks in silicon aluminum and with a mean density of 2.8. The other oceanic crust, which is basaltic in composition, consisting of more basic minerals and has a mean density of 3.0. Overall, the average density of the earth is 5.5 gram per cubic centimeter. Interaction between the crustal system of the lithosphere, atmosphere and biosphere takes place where continental crust is exposed above sea level. At the land air interface, crustal material becomes exposed to inputs of solar radiant energy, precipitation and atmospheric gases. These inputs are often modified by or operate through the effects of the living system of the biosphere. Under the influence of these inputs, crustal rocks are broken down by weathering process and are transferred to fine porous crustal layers called soil. An outline of earth layers and composition of crustal materials is given in a figure. an outline of earth layers and composition of materials as shown in the figure. You can see the details in it. Now we will discuss about the biosphere. The biosphere encompasses all the zones on the earth in which life is present, that is entire bioresources of the earth. It develops on earth since 4.5 billion years through evolutionary process. At the top of the lithosphere, throughout the hydrosphere and into the lower atmosphere, life of diverse type exists. These bioresources and their surrounding constitute the biosphere where mankind acts as the most evolved creature. The steps involved in the origin of life on Earth is very complex and requires several centuries. Considerable uncertainty surrounds the details of atmospheric composition, the processes involved, and even the sequence of some events leading to formation of living cells. The conventional view held that the earliest organisms on the plant were heterotrophic prokaryotic bacteria, subsequently autotrophic prokaryotes, and eukaryotes starts appearing as stepwise evolutionary changes. The major steps of origin of life in primitive Earth are depicted in figure. Steps to origin of life as shown in this figure. Life on Earth requires water, a source of energy that is sunlight, and various nutrients found in the soil, water, and air. Suitable combination of these essential cannot be found high in the upper atmosphere or deep underground. These exist only in a narrow layer near the surface of the Earth. This biosphere layer extends over most of the surface of the Earth. It includes the upper layers of the Earth's crust and the thick layer of soil that supports plant life. This zone of life also extends about 8 km up into the atmosphere, that is airborne biota, and much as 8 km down into the depths of the sea. Living organisms are not distributed uniformly on globe. Few organisms live on polar ice caps and glaciers, whereas many live in tropical rainforest. Subdivision of a typical biosphere as shown in the figure. Within the biosphere, there are several major regions containing specific types of ecosystem. These major regions are called biomes. Biomes are then recognized by the types of dominant ecosystem: tropical rainforest, temperate forest, prairies, deserts, and Arctic tundra. The ecosystems again are composed of population which is composed of individuals. The global estimate of species of both prokaryotes and eukaryotic life forms are given in the table 1 and 2. These figures imply the fact that how diverse is our biological world on Earth is, as you can see in the table 1 and the table 2. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.